Watch, this was Javi's cooking. Oh, I gotta curve it a little bit more next time.
How's it going, everyone? Coach Javi here. Welcome back to the channel. Today back at Key West Stadium, we're gonna do something a little bit different. I've been doing just a lot of basic training exercises, training sessions. Today we're gonna focus specifically on some shooting and some finishing. But before we get started, make sure you guys go ahead and check out ChampionGrind.com. We just got some grip socks in, as you guys can see. The logo and everything. Is it focusing on there? Mm-hmm. If you guys want some, go ahead and check out ChampionGrind.com. There's two different types of socks on there. The ones that I'm wearing right now are the regular ones, but we're gonna change into these, which are the grip socks. I believe they're $22 on the site right now, but if you use my code Javi10, you can get 10% off, which would make it like, I don't know, a little less than 20 bucks. Go ahead and check those out. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright, so first things first, probably most important, especially when you're doing a shooting or finishing session, is the proper warm-up. Making sure that you guys are starting off with a dynamic stretch, moving around, maybe juggling the ball a couple times. We obviously want to make sure that we get a stretch all around, but very importantly is that we're stretching out our groin area, because when you're shooting, you're really going to push the groin area to its limit. Obviously, if you want to stretch out anything that's a sensitive area for you, for me, that's like my hamstrings as well. So very important when you're doing a shooting session, making sure you get a good warm-up. Alright, so the first exercise, all it is a touch on one side, a touch on the other, and then when we go back to the side that we started on, we're gonna have a nice little finish. So for the first few reps, I did just passing it into the corner on the same side that I receive it, and then on the last set, I incorporated some headers just to get a different touch variation, but also we're trying to shoot it across the goal. And now, because we've warmed up with a few sets before, we're gonna be able to actually ping it with a little bit more power and trying to get it across the goal diagonally to the far corner.
Sabes bien cómo es que es combi completa de cabeza a los pies. Sin effects, mami, yo te entono. Te subo el pitch y te derrito el cono. En mis historias siempre te menciono. Pa' esa reina necesito un tono. Sin effects, mami, yo te entono. Con ese beso, chica, me emociono. Con tu cuerpo y tu nivel, quieres otra vez. Sé que tú quieres conmigo.
Okay, so one thing that I like to do when I'm doing a shooting session after every single rep is I start to think in my head, what can I do to improve, or what did I make as a mistake that if I correct can be a little bit better next time. So as you can see on the first ones, not too much power, the ball started rolling in, so I had to increase the power a little bit. In order to do that, right now what I'm focusing on is that curling shot, because I'm on the far side. I'm trying to curl it away from the goalkeeper. So what I'm doing is I'm using the inside of my foot. In order to get a little bit more flight on the ball, or a little bit more height, I lean back a little bit. So I know a lot of your coaches have told you in the past, don't lean back when you're about to take a shot. The reason they say that is because if you lean back too much, the ball's gonna go up in the air. But if you do want to get a little bit of height, especially from further out, you can lean back a little bit, especially if you're going for that curler inside of the foot, that finesse shot. And that's gonna allow you to get a little bit more height on the ball. The idea is it curls away from the goalkeeper and goes into that far post. So just a quick little coaching tip there. So as you guys can see a little bit better there on the second round, really focused on trying to lean back just a little bit, get some height on the ball, and still using that inside of the foot, put a little bit of spin on it. My follow through doesn't go directly past the ball, but it kind of goes a little bit off to the side so that I can give it some side spin. What I noticed for this one though is that you want to make sure that on your first touch, you're getting the ball out from underneath your feet, because if it gets stuck underneath your feet, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to try to get your foot all the way through it. If your first touch is a little too close to your body, you might have to take a second touch so that you can run onto the ball, generate a little bit more power, and have a nice follow through. Very important, first touch, positive touch, making sure it's in front of you, you take a step or two, and then you can hit the ball. All right, very important. In everything that we do, my philosophy at least, everything that we do, if we do it with our right foot, we do it with our left foot. To add an element of difficulty, Kit Man Moy, who has been jogging out here doing laps, is gonna jump in goal. and we're gonna see with my left foot and with the goalkeeper if Coach Javi still has it.
Bailabas como un ángel, me acuerdo de ese party. No lo hacías despacito, no eras como Daddy, eras como Bad Bunny, tu flow bastante cari, alright. Hermoso y con timidez me gusta, y con esa sencillez que asusta. Sabes bien cómo es que es combi completa de cabeza a los pies. Sin effects, mami, yo te entono, te subo el pitch y te derrito el cono. En mis historias siempre te menciono, pa' esa reina necesito.
One of the problems that I think happens is that in training, when I train my kids and I tell them to do something on their left foot or on their weak foot, they say they can't and they don't want to, and then I tell them that's why we're at training. Because if your left foot isn't good or your weak foot isn't good, you train to make it better. But if you never do it because you're afraid of it, you're afraid you're gonna look bad in front of your teammates, in front of your coaches, then ultimately down the line, that's gonna cost you a lot when you're trying to, go to a college or get a professional contract. So we're gonna move on and we're gonna try and do better in the next exercise.
Vamos 1, 2, 3, sin estrés. Muéstrame sus pasos, te cuento hasta 10 y ven. Yo sé que tú quieres moverlo sin pena.
Okay, so for this next one, I want you guys to focus on the type of shot that I use. So depending on how I take my touch, depending on what my angle is, maybe where the goalkeeper is standing, is gonna dictate how I finish or how I shoot the ball. So we already talked about the curler, where we're looking to use the inside of our foot, kind of swing past it, get a little bit of side spin, maybe lean back a little bit, right, to get some height. But if the angle is a little bit more difficult or I need a little bit more power on the ball, then I'm looking to strike it with my laces. One very, very important tip or coaching point that you could give to your players or to yourself that has helped me a lot when it comes to shooting with the laces is if you're going for power, most of the time you're gonna risk just skying the ball and it goes over. So in order to counteract that, in order to prevent that, what you want to do is when you take your shot, you want to follow through and you want to kind of jump, have a little hop after you kick it and land on your shooting foot. What that's going to allow you to do is that's going to allow you to stay over the ball, so no matter how hard you hit it, you have a lot less chance that it's going to go over. What happens is a lot of players take it with their laces, they shoot it as hard as they can, and then they end up leaning back, they end up in a position like this, and then the ball goes straight up into the air. So what I'm trying to show you is that after you shoot it, boom, we land on our shooting foot. It allows us to stay over the ball and we keep it on the ground. You can also do that with the curler if you want to get a little bit more power. If you're running behind the curler, maybe taking 2-3 steps and you're trying to curl it, put a little bit more pace on it, you can do that as well. It's a little bit more tricky, but it's also something that you can do if you want to get a little bit more power. So those are the two main shots that I want you guys to focus on or take away from this video. So I hope that little coaching point helps you guys out. Last one. Yes! Oh my goodness! So that's it right there, ladies and gentlemen. We have to end it on that one. Only a few exercises this time, but I really wanted to focus on the coaching points. Just to recap, first of all, there's a few things that are going to dictate our shot. One, where the goalkeeper is standing. So if you could get a goalkeeper out here, it's going to help make it a little bit more realistic. That's going to dictate whether we can go near post, whether we can go far post, whether we have to just pick a side, or maybe whether we have to just shoot for power because we don't have much of an angle because the goalkeeper's blocking the near post, whatever the case may be. The other thing, our angle and our distance from the goal. So if we're off to one side and we're maybe right outside of the 18, what we're trying to do is, because the goalkeeper's blocking the near post, what we're trying to do is see if maybe we can curl it to the far post. In order to do that, what we want to do is, if you're shooting with your right foot, use the inside of your foot. The follow through goes past the ball a little bit, give it a little bit of side spin. We want it to start out from the goal and then go right inside that corner. So maybe aim a little bit past that far post. If we're going for power, let's say we're a little bit further out or our angle's a little bit tighter, we have to diagonally hit it right back across to the other side. We're going to go with our laces. If we can, in order to keep the ball from going up, we're trying to hit it with our laces, jump and land on our shooting foot so that we stay over the ball, because if you hit it and you stop and you plant right there, you're going to lean back and then that ball's going to go over. I think it's okay to lean back if we're trying to hit that curler and we're trying to get a little bit of height on the ball, but that's just going to be dictated based on the type of shot that you have. Those are the coaching points. Hope you guys enjoyed the session. If you did, make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys want to see in the future. Hit that thumbs up, obviously, and subscribe if you haven't already. Lastly, make sure you guys go ahead and rate Kitman Moist performance in the comment section. Out of 10 to 3, maybe 3.5. Let us know in the comment section. Moy, what do you think?
Is that how many goals you made? 3.5? Because they were all over.
Out of 10.
Oh, out of 10? Yeah, maybe like 4.
4. All right.